Hi there. Welcome back to 8 p.m. Sleep Stories. I'm Joshua, the voice behind tonight's story. And tonight, I'll be here with you as we slowly settle in for the night. And if this is your first time here, I hope tonight's story and the sound of my voice help you relax and gently drift into sleep. And if you enjoy these quiet stories, you're always welcome to subscribe or leave a comment below. It truly helps support the channel and allows me to keep creating more stories for you. Before we begin, just take a moment to settle in, allowing your body to feel supported and at ease. There is nothing you need to do, nowhere else you need to be, just this quiet moment. And now, very gently, our story begins. Long after the final lights dimmed across the old riverside town, and long after the final footsteps faded from the narrow stone streets beside the water, a single warm window still glowed quietly near the eastern bridge. The town rested beneath deep autumn night. Cold fog drifted slowly above the river, while pale moonlight reflected softly across the dark, moving water below. Most homes had already fallen silent hours earlier. Curtains were drawn. Chimneys smoked gently beneath the midnight sky. Somewhere far away, a loose sign moved softly in the wind beside an empty alley. But inside the small bakery near the bridge, the day was only beginning. The baker's name was Edwin. He was an old man now, though not yet weak. His movements had simply grown slower over the years, quieter and more careful, like someone who no longer felt the need to hurry through familiar work. His bakery had stood beside the river longer than most buildings in town, before the railway station beyond the western hills, before the electric lamps along the market streets, before the large modern bakery near the station began selling bread brought overnight from the city. The little riverside bakery had already been there. Its wooden sign had faded softly beneath many winters of rain and snow. The stone walls carried the scent of flour and smoke deep within them now, as though the building itself had absorbed every loaf ever baked there. Inside, warm lantern light glowed softly across the wooden shelves, while shadows moved gently along the ceiling beams overhead. Edwin tied the apron slowly around his waist and placed another piece of cedar wood into the old brick oven near the wall. The fire answered immediately with a low, warm, crackling sound. Outside, the town remained dark and silent. Inside, warmth slowly filled the bakery once more. Edwin always loved this hour best. Not morning, not afternoon. Only this quiet space between midnight and dawn, when the entire world seemed to pause and breathe more softly. The bakery belonged fully to him during these hours. Only the sound of dough against wood, only the slow ticking clock near the shelves, only the deep breathing warmth of the oven beside the wall. He poured flour carefully across the worn wooden table before pressing both hands slowly into the resting dough beneath the lantern glow. Fold, press, turn, repeat. The rhythm never changed. Perhaps that was why he found comfort in it. The world outside changed constantly now. Shops closed. Families moved away. The old fishing docks near the southern river bend had almost disappeared completely. Even the bookstore beside the bakery had been empty for nearly a year now. But inside the bakery, The rhythm remained the same. Warm fire, rising bread, quiet night, steady hands. Outside, rain began softly against the windows facing the river. Tiny drops slid slowly across the glass while fog thickened above the bridge beyond the street. The old clock tower above the market square rang quietly once. 1 o'clock. Still many hours before dawn. Edwin continued shaping the dough carefully into long loaves before placing them gently upon wooden trays beside the oven. The smell of fresh bread slowly filled the bakery. Warm, comforting, familiar. The kind of smell that belonged naturally to sleeping towns and cold autumn nights. For a moment, Edwin stood quietly beside the front window, looking out toward the empty bridge. Moonlight shimmered faintly through the rain. The river moved slowly beneath the stone arches, while mist drifted softly along the narrow streets nearby. Long ago, the town had remained busier at night. Fishermen once crossed the bridge before dawn, carrying nets and lanterns toward the docks. Travelers arrived late beneath horse-drawn wagons from distant villages. Bakers, blacksmiths, and stable workers all moved quietly through the sleeping streets long before sunrise. Now most nights felt emptier. The newer bakery near the station sold cheaper bread, brought by train from the city each morning. Perfectly shaped bread. Uniform bread. Bread that arrived quickly and disappeared quickly. Several old shops had already closed because of it. The tailor near the chapel, the candle maker beside the river, the bookstore next door. Edwin sometimes wondered how much longer the bakery itself would survive beside the bridge. Yet every night, when he lit the old oven again, the question faded quietly into the warmth of the room, because the work still mattered. Even if only to a few people now, the smell of bread, the glow behind the windows, the quiet certainty that someone remained awake while the town slept, that still mattered. The oven crackled softly behind him. Edwin removed the first loaves carefully from the heap and placed them upon the cooling shelves. Steam rose gently into the warm air, while golden crust reflected softly beneath the lantern glow. Outside, the rain softened gradually. Somewhere beyond the bakery wall, a cat crossed the alley beside the river steps. The town remained asleep. 2 o'clock. Edwin prepared another batch of dough while the fresh loaves cooled beside him. His hands no longer moved as quickly as they once had, but they never hesitated. Years of repetition had shaped every movement into quiet instinct. Once, long ago, the bakery had trained apprentices, young boys from nearby villages hoping to learn the trade. Most eventually left for larger cities. One now owned a large bakery near the coast. Another baked aboard merchant ships crossing southern waters. Edwin sometimes wondered whether they still remembered these quiet hours before dawn, whether they still remembered the smell of cedar smoke and rising dough beneath lantern light. The rain stopped completely sometime after 2:30. Cold fog settled heavily along the streets near the bridge. Then, very softly, footsteps stopped outside the bakery door. Not hurried footsteps. Small footsteps. Edwin already knew who it would be. The door opened carefully. A young girl stepped inside wearing an oversized wool coat, nearly reaching her boots. Cold fog drifted behind her into the warm bakery. "Good evening, Clara," Edwin said gently. Clara pushed damp hair away from her face and smiled sleepily. I could not sleep again. Edwin nodded softly, as though this were the most ordinary thing in the world. The rain kept you awake. The river sounded loud tonight. He placed a small, warm loaf beside the counter. Clara immediately held both hands near the bread to feel the heat rising from it. The bakery light reflected softly in her tired eyes, while the smell of fresh bread filled the room around them. Clara often wandered through the sleeping town during restless nights until she saw the warm bakery window glowing beside the bridge. Edwin never asked too many questions. Some people simply slept lightly. Some minds remained too awake after midnight. The bakery always seemed to comfort both kinds of people. For a while, Clara sat quietly beside the window, while Edwin continued shaping dough at the table behind her. Neither of them spoke much. The bakery itself already felt peaceful enough without conversation. The fire crackled softly. The clock ticked slowly. Outside, fog drifted beside the dark river. Eventually, Clara looked toward the empty bookstore beside the bakery. Its windows remained dark beneath layers of dust. Do you think someone will ever open it again? She asked quietly. Edwin glanced briefly toward the empty building through the rain-streaked glass. I hope so, he replied. My grandmother says more shops may close this winter. Edwin remained silent for a moment. The girl lowered her eyes toward the bread in her hands. She says the city bread is cheaper. The old baker folded another piece of dough slowly across the wooden table before answering. Yes, he said softly. It is. The bakery grew quiet again, but not uncomfortable quiet, only thoughtful quiet. The kind of silence that sometimes arrives naturally during late-night conversations beneath warm light. After some time, Edwin removed his coat from the wall hook near the oven. I need to bring bread to the bridge keeper, he said. Clara looked up immediately. Can I come? Edwin smiled faintly. If you stay close. They stepped outside together into the cold night fog. The warmth of the bakery faded gently behind them, while the river moved dark and silent beneath the stone bridge nearby. Edwin carried several wrapped loaves beneath one arm, while Clara walked quietly beside him. The town felt deeply asleep now. No voices, no wagon wheels, no open windows, only distant water and drifting mist beneath the moonlight. Their footsteps echoed softly across the narrow streets. As they crossed the market square, Clara noticed several empty buildings standing dark beneath the fog. The old music shop, the tailor, a small flower store near the chapel, all closed now. The town looked larger at night with so many empty windows. Edwin paused briefly beside the old bookstore near the bridge. Its sign still moved slightly whenever wind drifted through the alley. Years ago, warm light had glowed behind those windows every evening. The owner used to leave tea beside the bakery door during winter nights. Now the shelves inside sat empty beneath dust and darkness. Clara looked toward Edwin quietly. Does it make you sad? She asked. A little, he admitted. Then he smiled softly. But towns change the same way seasons do. The bridge keeper accepted the bread gratefully before disappearing once more into the fog-covered tower near the river crossing. Afterward, Edwin and Clara walked slowly back toward the bakery. The sky had begun changing slightly now, Not morning yet, but the darkness no longer felt quite as deep as before. Inside the bakery, warmth welcomed them immediately. Clara sat beside the oven while Edwin prepared the final loaves before dawn. The firelight glowed softly across the stone walls, while steam rose gently from fresh bread, cooling beside the shelves. At some point, Clara rested her head against folded arms beside the window. "Do you think the bakery will stay here forever?" she asked sleepily. Edwin looked toward the warm shelves filled with bread, then toward the quiet streets beyond the glass. Finally, he answered carefully, "I think as long as someone still needs warm bread during the night, the oven will keep burning." Clara smiled faintly without opening her eyes. Not long after that, she fell asleep beside the window. The final hours before dawn passed slowly and peacefully. Edwin cleaned the wooden table carefully while pale blue morning light slowly gathered beyond the rooftops outside. The first distant birds had begun singing somewhere near the riverbed. The old clock tower rang softly again. 5 o'clock. Soon the town would wake. Soon footsteps would return to the bridge. Soon workers would cross the square, carrying baskets and lanterns into the cold morning air. And while the town slowly opened its eyes, the midnight baker would finally rest. Edwin stepped outside briefly, one final time before dawn. Cold fog drifted gently above the river, while pale silver light touched the edges of the distant hills. The bakery window glowed warmly behind him. The smell of fresh bread drifted softly into the sleeping streets. For a few quiet moments, the entire town seemed suspended perfectly between night and morning. Warmth and cold, light and fog, silence and waking life. Edwin breathed slowly in the cold air before returning quietly inside once more. Clara still slept peacefully beside the window. Fresh bread rested upon the shelves. The old oven glowed softly beside the wall. And in the quiet warmth of the riverside bakery, the midnight baker finally allowed himself to rest while the sleeping town slowly began to wake. And now, our story gently comes to an end. The night has grown quiet, and the world beyond your window feels a little softer now. If your eyes are becoming heavy, then simply rest here for a while and allow the music to carry you slowly towards sleep. These calm sounds were made to help your mind become still, your breathing slow and gentle, and your thoughts drift quietly into the dark. There is nothing more you need to think about tonight, nothing more to solve, nothing more to carry. And if you are still awake, do not worry. Some nights simply take a little longer. You do not need to force sleep to arrive. Just remain comfortable, remain calm, and let the quiet night move gently around you. And perhaps, if you would like another peaceful journey before sleep, there are more quiet stories waiting nearby. Another distant train moving softly through the midnight countryside. Another lighthouse glowing beside the sea. Another hidden path beneath the moonlight. But for now, let the day slowly fade away. Let your thoughts grow softer. Let the world become quiet around you once more. Tomorrow can wait until morning. Now rest, breathe slowly, and sleep.